Yo, 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 hip hop heights, man. So we back with the second part of this reaction to Monique on Club Shay Shay. I got these Japanese peanuts. Y'all had those before? These motherfuckers bomb. They're like fried peanuts. A little crunchy. And yeah. So Monique on the second part, Monique she just gets into Taraji. Right? The Taraji story. Or the Taraji beef, I guess.
And you have agents and you have managers and you have attorneys, right? And they're telling you all the good things. And everybody always said to me, you want to get the syndication.
Yes.
You want to get the syndication. Once you get the syndication, you work because you want to work.
Right.
Right?
So syndication is what, 5 years, 100 episodes?
Syndication is 100 episodes.
Okay.
Right? So that's all I knew. I didn't know to ask to be an executive producer of my own image.
Oh,
and nobody told me. I didn't know to ask for that. I didn't know to ask for after the third year of being on a successful sitcom that you could say, I now need a bonus. I didn't know to even negotiate that, and no one told me to negotiate that.
They're definitely not going to tell you.
All they kept saying is, when you get the syndication, when you get the syndication, when you get the syndication. Well, 3 years in, the Parkers was in syndication. Now, no one told me that. You learn it once you open your eyes, because now I'm going around the country doing promos. The Parkers is coming on at 4 o'clock in your city. The Parkers will be on at 2:30 in Sacramento. Y'all make sure y'all watch the Parkers. It's coming on. I'm not knowing I'm promoting the show in syndication. No one told me that. All we're doing is saying if we get to 5 years, we got to 5 years. 110 episodes. Me and a beautiful young lady named Countess Vaughn, who was my baby to this day. We had the Laverne and Shirley law, right? You're supposed to be equal.
Yeah.
Once we got to the 5 years, our attorney, my attorney, and the agents said, oh, the Parkers made money. Y'all gonna get paid from the Parkers. It's made money. Okay. Years go by. By 2004, the Parkers, we went off the air in 2004, right? In 5 years, by 2009, the Parkers had made $800 million.
You're like, oh yeah.
Stay
money,
with me.
Money.
Yeah. Hey, come on. Hey, yeah. All right. Okay, because we're waiting to get that money, Santa. Oh, check is coming.
Bring the money in.
We get a call. We got to do an audit.
That's why I love fucking comedians. That's why I love comedians. Cause that shit was fucking, that was on point, bro. That was hilarious. Watch this.
$100 million.
You're like, oh yeah.
Stay with me.
Money.
Hey, come on. Hey, yeah. All right. Okay, because we're waiting to get that money, Santa. Oh, check is coming. We get a call. We got to do an audit, and everything. Okay. And that was in 2009 that it made $800 million. We're now in 2024. And they're trying to convince Countess Vaughn and I that show made no money.
I notice a difference.
No.
They're trying to convince us that a show that cost roughly $65 million to make. In our last year of shooting the Parkers, Countess Vaughn and I made $55,000 apiece.
That's it? How much were you making an episode?
$55,000 an episode.
Okay, so how many episodes did you shoot that last
5 years. That last year we shot 22 episodes.
Okay.
We made $55,000 apiece at the end of a top-rated sitcom.
Hold on, time out. Are you saying you made $55,000 for 22 episodes, or are you saying you made $55,000 per episode? Because I want to make sure I'm hearing you.
Let me make sure you hear me correctly. We did 22 episodes.
Yes.
We were paid $55,000 per episode.
Okay.
For 22 shows.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's on a hit show.
Right.
That is unheard of.
Yeah.
Because we're two black women. I don't know to fight for it.
Right.
Countess is a baby in this business. So I don't know to say that
we should be making 100,000, 150, 200,000 an episode.
So now today, y'all want to convince us that show made no money? That show has made over $2 billion, and I'm guesstimating. And you want to convince us that our percentage, we made no money? We can't allow that to happen.
Right.
That's why we're fighting. That's why we're saying, no, guys, we can't sit on our hands like that.
Right.
You know how many of us, when you watch Good Times, when you watch The Jeffersons, when you watch Sanford and Son, whose family is benefiting from our images? Because the damn show ain't ours.
That's deep.
Wow. You see why I fight the way I fight?
Yeah.
Because if it does not make sense, you have to explain it. And I'll go back to Tyler Perry. You know why Tyler Perry don't want to talk to my husband? Because he can't talk around him. My husband don't care nothing about that man's money. We don't care nothing about your title. We care about your character, brother. We care about your integrity.
And what you gonna pay? What you gonna pay?
How you gonna make it right? How you gonna make it right? Because if I am your Aunt Mary, and I really belong to you, as I really belong to you right now, Shannon, I am your sister. Mm-hmm. And you heard something that was wrong.
Yeah. How can Tyler Perry make it right, Mo? Give you a job, give you a sitcom. Say, Mo, okay, you know what, Mo? Sitcom. You're gonna be the executive producer. I'm gonna be a co-executive producer. You're gonna do the sitcom.
If somebody cost you, Shannon Sharp, millions of dollars,
yes,
do you want to be compensated for what they cost you for a lie?
Yeah, she already did the work. So she's trying to get paid, like back pay pretty much, if you look at it in that term. You know what I mean? Which is not wrong. If you already did the work and they're just trying to keep you out of the loop, out of the money. And also, 55 racks a episode on one of the hit shows. If you get to syndication, which is 100 episodes, that's like you are one of them hot hit shows. So 55,000 just seems really low. You know what I mean? I want to say like Charlie Sheen. How much was Charlie Sheen making per episode? Oh wow! So he earned 800,000 to 1.8 million per episode on 2.5 Men. That was like the #1 show I remember for a while. 55,000. She got to syndication. You would think a little bit more than that. At least 100K, maybe 200K.
And a rumor?
Yeah.
So at that time, I was making
For like the last few episodes, maybe. I'm not sure.
roughly between $2 and $3 million a year.
Right.
I sat in that for over a decade, like 12 years.
Right.
You do the math. Over a lie that he admitted that he told. Not something I'm making up. Mm-hmm. You admitted that, brother. How do you make that right?
I've been thinking a lot about starting my own business, but the thing is, I'm not really sure what I'm passionate about, and I want to do something that...
I'm sure you got lawyers. Have you had a conversation?
Well, what happens is, when you take somebody at their word, time. We don't need to go to no lawyers, Tyler. You know what you did. Just make it right. And if he doesn't make it right, what will our community do? What will our community say? Because today it's me, tomorrow it's you. Then what?
Yeah.
We've got to hold him accountable. What Cat say? You got to tell Tyler Perry, come on now. You got to do it, Shannon. You got to tell him.
You got to tell it. Mo, obviously, when you do stand up, you go to a lot of different cities, a lot of different clubs.
Yes.
It's a lot of different promoters. Has everybody always been on the up and up with Monique, or they just try? Sometimes people try to take advantage. You're female. You're black. You're heavy.
You're not gonna say that like Mr. from Color Purple. You're black. You're ugly. You're not gonna do that, Shay.
But you know, people would try to take advantage of anyone, but seemingly like us, their team were willing to take more advantage of
I've
us.
had to tell the promoters, call the police. Because either they're going to come get you or me.
They're trying to hold up on the money.
Call the police. Because, and this was like $75. Can you imagine? $75? Like, you know where we come from.
Yeah.
If somebody gets you for $25, that's a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine $25 million.
Yeah,
We've seen people lose their life for $25.
for sure.
Imagine somebody getting you for millions. How you supposed to feel? Would you let it go?
Nah, hell no.
Right. So when people say, Mo, just let it go.
Yeah, but it's easy for people to say let it go when they haven't lost anything.
Come on, baby.
It's easy to say.
Come on.
But when you've lost, how do you? It's kind of like you know, hey, someone should just get over it. You can't tell somebody how to grieve, how long to grieve, because you're not the one that's hurting.
They didn't do it to you. They didn't do it to you. It was done. And I will say this right now on your show. I still love y'all. We still love y'all.
You love more, they make it right.
My husband, okay, say that again because
You love y'all more, y'all make it right.
Yes, indeed. Okay, I'll fix him a pound cake.
She said, "I fix him a pound cake."
My husband would always say, Mama, we ain't calling nobody out. We're calling them up. And if we continue to call us up on our doings that are not right, we get better as a people. Like, we get better. Do you know why things were able to happen like they happened on The Color Purple?
Why you think? Oh, you talking about the remake? You talking about?
I'm talking about the 7th one.
Yeah.
The one that just came out.
Right.
Right. Isn't that the 7th edition?
It's like the musical with Fantasia and Taraji, right?
Right,
Okay,
right. That one with all our beautiful sisters.
Yes.
You know why they're able to treat us like they treat us? How are you handpicked in your audition?
No, if you handpick, you don't audition.
I want you to say that again, Shannon, because people don't understand how.
She sounded like Oprah right there. She got serious.
I want you to say that again, Shannon, because people.
You don't audition. No, if you handpick, you don't audition.
I want you to say that again, Shannon, because people don't understand how deep this goes. When I watch my sister say it was an honor to be handpicked,
Right.
then why ever would you audition?
Yeah.
And the moment, in my opinion, the moment she auditioned, they knew we got them. We can treat them any kind of way we want to treat them. We can do them any kind of way.
But why would you want to?
Why?
Just because you can, that doesn't mean you should.
But they did. But they did. How do you handpick me and then mistreat me?
Yes.
And then I got to send a letter to you about the mistreatment that you gave me. That's why they're able to get away with it. That's why when I do interviews, oftentimes, or these conversations, people are too afraid to even address it because they don't want to be caught up like, oh, I don't know. When you say, wait a minute, no, that's the truth.
Right.
I heard it. And I don't want my character to be on the line as I'm being a person sitting there asking people about their lives
Right.
and then not be able to stand in what I've heard.
Right.
That's why it made so much, it was important for us. It was important for us to get you that audio. I don't want you to take my word.
Yeah.
And anything I've said on this couch right now, that don't take my word. Ask those people. Ask those people.
Right.
And see what happens. And then maybe after this come out, they're going to label me again. She's bitter. She's not loved.
Yeah. You got 30, 40 million of my dollars. Yeah, I'm bitter. The average person gonna be bitter.
Okay, I just want to look in your camera. Okay. And here's the thing. Because I got a king at home, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
You just want what's right.
We just determined.
Right.
Not life is too good to be bitter, but we're determined for you to take accountability.
Right.
That's all.
Game time is the fact.
Oh, that's deep. You gotta take accountability, especially if she's owed this money. Like she's been talking about it for over a decade. So very interesting as to how this plays out. Let's fast forward through this shit.
Mm,
Break minute tickets in comedy.
mm. The Apollo Theater.
People have had enough.
And the sister that stay out front that had the jerry curl, if she liked you, everybody liked you.
Right.
If she did not like you, nobody liked you. And when I saw that woman stand to her feet, baby,
Good.
I was good. There were so many moments.
Were you nervous to go on Apollo? Because, if you everybody know about the Apollo.
Hell
You're
yeah.
nervous every time.
You still get nervous to go on?
Every time, baby. And not the nervous when you're scared. It's just that, like, oh, I get to do it again.
Yeah.
Like when you go out to the field, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's that.
Mhm.
I still get that, yeah.
Wow. To hear you speak and to see, like, how passionate, you're a very, very passionate person about everything.
I love us. I love us. Like, when I say I love my people, Shannon. I love us. I love everybody.
Right.
But my people, I love us. So when I speak on things, it's not to drop shade, mess, or tea. I'm too damn grown for that. I'm
Right.
56 and a grandmother. Who got time for that? But I say it because will it make us better?
Right.
Will it make us come to the table and say, you know what do we really leave for the babies that's coming behind us? That means something to me. When I talked about them damn bonnets, let me tell you something.
Yeah, you said, hey, come on, can we, like, when we come out the house, can we not have the bonnets on? Can we not have the pajamas on? Can we not have the house shoes going in the
The whole damn Halloween costume. That's a Halloween costume that you wear on Halloween. And I am passionate about that because what is the representation that we're giving to the little girls that's walking behind you? What is the representation that we're giving to our black men that's walking beside us? What is the reputation that we're giving? And when they would say to me, oh, Monique, you don't know what they're going through. We always been going through something.
Yes.
We was going through something when we got off the damn boat. We've been going through something.
True.
But once you lose the pride and the dignity of what you feel like you look like, then we've lost. So I wasn't backing down on that. It's like, no, y'all, we owe ourselves
Right.
that. We owe ourselves that.
How hard is it for you to love some in the community when you know they don't love you back?
That's a good one, Shannon. Okay, that's a good one because sometimes I be in the bathroom having conversations with the ones that don't love me back, but I still love them because I just know they're misinformed. We've been conditioned in such a way in our community to eat each other up and spit each other out. Mm-hmm. We've been conditioned. Well, I don't like her, and I love my people.
But why?
Why do I love my people?
No, I'm saying a lot of times, for me, Mo, is that I don't take someone's word because you can only judge a person through personal experience.
Yes.
You don't know our audio guy. But to say, oh, Mo, I don't like him. And then for you to say, well, I don't like him either because Shannon didn't like him. You have no personal experience with him. So why would you dislike him? People want us to dislike somebody because they've had a negative experience with that said person.
And we buy into it. We buy into it. Because this one don't like her. And then you say, why don't you like him? This is one thing my husband said to me one time. He said, Mama, there's not a person on the face of this earth that I dislike. I may dislike what they do, but I don't dislike the person. And it took me a minute to understand it because I'm like, I don't like their ass.
Like, if you look at everybody's just, they're just like you trying to get through. And I honestly, I think like once I did LSD a bunch of times. And at some point, it was, or you know what I mean. I was just, I felt like I was able to see people as children in the trauma. Like everybody just got some trauma that most people are trying to get over. Um, some people aren't aware of it. Most people aren't aware of it. You know, so it's really not it's not them. It's just it has to do with the programming, because your actions are what you've seen and what you can't, like the trauma that you've been through. You start acting it out. You get what I'm saying? If you're so everyone's just a grown ass kid trying to figure it out. But we definitely all in it together for sure.
I don't like what they did. I don't like their ass. I don't like their mama. I don't like none of them. But he said, no, there are things you've done that I dislike, but I don't dislike you.
Right.
And once we can get past that, then we even grow to be better.
Right.
So what you're seeing right now, Shannon, is Mrs. Sidney Hicks, that my husband has set me down and had conversations with me and really taught me how to be a lady. Because people in this business know, if you put me sideways, baby, you beat that boy over the head with that tray in the cafeteria, right? Mm-hmm. I will cuss your ass out in ways that they wish I beat him with a tray. And he had to say, Mama, they won't hear you.
Right.
They don't hear you. Once you go there, so he's had to teach me how to really be a queen.
Right.
Really know my worth, really understand my value. And I'm grateful for that. And I used to say to my husband, I wish I could put you in a bottle and shake you up and let black women take a sip to know what it's like to truly be loved by a black man that is a king. When I tell you, Shannon, it's a love that is unexplainable and unimaginable. That's why I can't be broken. And I say that humbly. I can't be broken because I got a king at home. I got a king right there that when all this shit went crazy, that man took me by my hands and said, don't you know we good? And I believed him. And right now to this day, I believe him. And when you have that type of strength, it's hard to bend over. You can't.
Right.
I wouldn't have taken 5 caffeine.
You said that when you were at your lowest, he lifted you to your highest.
You better know your homework, baby. I'm proud of you. We got toast on that one. You better know your damn homework. I said that when I was at my lowest, he loved me like I was at my best. Mm-hmm. And I was mentally ill because you're in this business. Everybody thinks you are the hero. Consideration can be thrown out the window. Patience can be thrown out the window. Because when you get home, you believe that I'm the breadwinner. And what I say is what goes. And this is what it is. And then this is my third marriage, though my first. Because this is the first time I've known my place as a black man's wife. Mm. And there's a place. And we get so caught up in that word. What you mean, your place? What you mean? Without him saying it, his actions showed me that he was the leader of that household. Without him saying it, I knew I was dealing with a king.
And he doesn't have to constantly remind you of it. He's
never. When we first got together, I sat at the head of that table. Comfortably. There was never a conversation about it. Till one day I knew I was in the wrong place. Wow. And I moved to the side of the table. And he sat at the head. We never had a conversation about it. It just happened because it was supposed to. So when people question My husband, and why is he there? You would hope you would have one like that. I remember our beautiful sister Tiffany Haddish did an interview with GQ magazine, and this, in my humble opinion, is where we keep throwing each other under the bus. You're doing an interview with GQ magazine, and I'm assuming the journalist was a white person, and the conversation turned to Monique. And she said, well, I don't do business like Monique do business, and I'm glad I don't have that husband of hers.
Ooh.
But she don't know your husband.
And when I saw that, it's like, Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs.
Oh.
If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up in what looks like you could have been grooming a child. And I say all of that with no judgment. But when you speak about having a husband like mine, you open up the door. And I'm saying to you, if you had one like mine, you may not sit in these positions that you can't explain the next day.
Right.
Or it's a hard way to go. So once again...
Well, she doesn't even have a husband, let alone like yours.
Well, damn it now. You said it.
Oh, shit. Is that a shot?
I sipped on that, Shannon. That was a sip. That required a sip.
You, Moesha, how did that come about?
Moesha?
Yeah. You had an audition for Moesha, right?
No, sir.
Hold on.
No, sir.
You didn't get on Moesha?
I did. I say this... not to be, but I never auditioned.
What?
I've never auditioned. They've called. I think I thought I was auditioning for a Burger King commercial, but what it really was the agency I was with at the time, just trying to blow smoke.
Right.
You know, making me think I'm doing something.
Right.
But to audition, when I first came to Hollywood, I told this guy named, I believe his name is Mark Unray, and I told AJ Johnson, and I told a sister named Kimberly Brooks. I said, I'm not auditioning. And they was like, okay, like your fat ass. You not auditioning? Okay, fat ass, we'll see. That's what they did. They laughed. But I meant that. I'm like, what you see is what you get. I am not going to, especially now. Especially now, why ever would I audition when I've got the highest award that you can get in this business called acting? And why would I do that?
Right.
Because once I do that, I devalue me. If you can't look at my work and say, that's what we want, then no, thank you.
Right.
Like they'll call, they'll send emails and they'll say, what's Monique availability? None of your business. I don't know you. So you're just going to send an email and want to know what's my availability. I'm offer only. I am offer only. So again, we got to be careful what we say yes to. What Sidney Poitier say? It's not how many times you say yes. It's how many times you say no. And the moment our baby auditioned, they got set up for no trailers. They got set up for no food. They got set up for no drivers, because now in their mind, they think you're desperate.
Right.
So when Oprah does the one-on-one with Taraji and she begins to run down her...
That's deep.
Credits, the great Taraji P. Henson, then why ever would you allow the audition to happen?
Yeah, Taraji don't need to be... I mean, if you can't look at the body of work, I mean, I understand if you're a new person, you're a new actor trying to get it. They don't know you. You don't have no work to show. But if they can't pick out your work and be like, that's who we want, that type of, we see what she can bring to the, you know, why would you make her audition?
Why ever?
That's actually like a real professional, sounds like real professional.
Would you allow that? Why wouldn't you go to that studio and say,
she doesn't have to?
She doesn't have to. I handpicked them.
And then she won the Oscar for Precious, like.
So either our sister's not as powerful as we believe she is, or either there's not the concern that she tries to make it look like it is.
But you turn a couple of appearances on Moesha into the Parkers.
This is how the Parkers happen. Normally you shoot a pilot,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And the pilot, they decide whether or not they're going to do the show from the pilot, right?
Yes.
Okay. Countess Vaughn and I, when I go to a meeting with a guy named Larry Little at Big Ticket Television, and at the time my agent was a woman named Susie Unger, they're trying to sell a talk show.
Yes.
We have a meeting. He says, listen, I don't need her to do a talk show, but if she can act, she has her own show. My agent said, of course she can act. Well, she didn't know if I could act or not, but I said, damn it, of course I can act. They brought Countess Vaughn into that meeting. That was at 1 o'clock. By that evening, they were negotiating the deal for the Parkers. The way they introduced the character, because they always talked about Kim's mother on Moesha,
Right.
they introduced Nikki Parker in an episode of Moesha, which was the pilot spinoff
Right.
to the Parkers. There was never an audition. There was never any of that.
So now all of a sudden you got your own sitcom.
Shut up. Come on now.
You go home and you like, from Bmore, Maryland, from what I went through to this.
Yes.
Are you looking around like, damn it, I knew this. I knew this day was gonna happen.
Yes. 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 And you know how you know something as a child?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you know you were going to play
Yeah,
professional
absolutely.
football? I knew it, Shannon. I knew it. Like, I knew as a child, and I say this humbly, I knew the world would know my name. Like, I knew that.
Right.
So once you in it, you be just like,
I do not do a
Damn, Joe's all over these ads.
I still can be in a supermarket and somebody say, Monique, is that you? And I still can tear up because I'm like, I'm here.
Right.
I remember when I got my first parking lot at the Parkers.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I had a parking space. And they would send out emails to say, if you're here for the Parkers, park outside the gate. That's how naive I was. When you asked me, was I naive?
Mm-hmm.
So I would park outside the gate.
You
Even though I'm one of the stars of a show, baby, they said if you with the Parker, because there's no 101. There's no Hollywood 101. There's no introduction. They just say go and you're supposed to get it.
Yeah.
So I would walk across the parking lot all the way over to the set, to the stage, till a brother named William Tripp was in a golf cart one day. He said, Mo, what you doing? I said, going to the set. He said, why are you walking across the parking lot? I said, oh, because they said if you with the Parkers, you got to park outside the gate. That brother laughed, but it was a brotherly laugh.
Mm-hmm.
He said, come here, baby, let me show you something. And I got on that golf cart, and he drove me to my parking space that had my name on it. That was a moment for me. Like I'm pulling up to a studio, and that's my name. That's the little fat black girl from Baltimore, Maryland, who was in the slow class. That's the little fat black girl from Baltimore, Maryland, who didn't have a lot of friends. A lot of people didn't want to deal with me. But that's my name on that parking space. Now, do you see why I fight like I fight?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all possible. But what happens is we then lose ourselves in the possibility of what we're getting. And now we're too afraid to lose it. So all the principles, all the morals, all your values, they don't go away. You just push them to the side because you know what it's like not to have gas money. So I'll just, I just go ahead and do that a little bit.
Right.
My soul won't let me do that.
Why did you want to become famous? You asked me earlier did I know that I was going to play in the NFL, and I told you yes, because I wanted to play in the NFL because it was going to get my grandmother and my family into a situation they probably would have never enjoyed without it.
Come on.
That was my driving force. That was all I thought about, Mo. Given your family situation and what transpired, why did Mo want to be famous so bad?
I'm a little fat black girl, baby. And ask another fat black girl. We fight for that attention because you wasn't the one picked on the playground to play kickball.
Right.
You wasn't the one picked for the spelling bee. You wasn't the one picked for this. You wasn't the one picked for that. So I was like, one day. I'm sure you growing up, you had your challenges.
Yes.
You were a dark-skinned man.
Yeah.
There was a time you stuttered.
Yeah,
I'm
you know, I wasn't always popping, Mo. Now that you brought it up,
Let's talk about it,
yeah.
Shay.
It was the elder
Talk
barges. You
about
remember
it.
that?
Talk about it.
The
Your
good
hair
hair,
wasn't
yeah.
curly. Your skin was black.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, now that you brought it up, I
You
wasn't
know
always
what
popping.
that is. So
Yeah.
now to be that,
Yeah.
now you got to be careful.
Mhm.
Because you remember the time when she told you, no, I don't want to go out on a date with old Black Shannon.
Yeah, you know. You from Glenville?
Let me talk to her right now.
Yeah.
Let me talk to your ass that wouldn't go out with Black Shannon.
I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Now you wish you would have went out with Black Shannon that stuttered. Okay, you wish you would have went out with Black stuttering Shannon Sharp's ass. Now look at him. He got the Shay show. I bet her ass a tough. I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. So we understand it. You know, you understand that drive. You understand that thing in you that says, I won't let nobody stop me. Now, my drive wasn't that I wanted to get my family out of poverty because I've always grown up in a middle class environment. So it wasn't that we were dirt poor. You know, we didn't have no whole lot, but I didn't look at it as we were in poverty.
Right.
For me, I just wanted the world to know me.
Mhm.
And then once I had a son, right?
Mhm.
I was very young when I had my first son. I didn't want him to have to go to a college because that was all that my parents could afford. I wanted him to be able to do whatever he wanted to do. And there was a sacrifice in that, right? Because when you're trying to go get it, you're missing this right here.
Oh, you miss a lot.
The nurturing,
Yes,
you miss all
yes,
of that.
yes.
So, you know, all of that had to
Right.
be dealt with.
Mhm.
So now with this group, with my second set of children,
Mhm.
I'm a different mother than I was
Mhm.
then. So my whole thing is, even right now, we want to make sure that when we leave here, our babies are good.
Right.
And their babies are good. And had Tyler Perry not told that lie, we would be on our way to that. And I know people saying, why she keep going back to that? I'm going to keep going back to that shit, Shannon Sharp, till he takes accountability for it.
You said your first son
Yes.
that you're trying to get it, but it robbed you of a lot of things of a mother-son relationship.
It did.
And so you made sure not to make the mistake this time around. What's your relationship like? Is he resentful of that?
We're still very much separated.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where you have to pray to the universe and say, let time do the healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Right.
That's it. Let time do that healing. It may heal it in time and it may not.
Right.
And that's something that we as parents have to say, listen,
Right.
I've done what I could do. I've taken accountability for it. Now it's up to you.
Right.
That's like when somebody's saying, Shannon, I want to apologize to you. Now it is up to you
Whether or not to accept.
whether or not to, but once I give it to you, I've done my part. And don't apologize like no punk. I'm just sorry for everything. That gets your ass out of it. No, break it down. Let's go bit by bit so that way we know you understand the offense that you've done.
Damn, that's deep. If you think everything I like apologizing is, it's like the realest thing you could do for yourself and for the whole situation is to apologize and accept an apology. You know what I mean? Because that's how, from that moment, you begin to grow and mend. Let's be real.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying, because I've had to do that.
Right.
When I tell you I was so out of line and out of order when I first got with my husband, so out of order and out of line. And this has been my best friend since 10th grade, since we were 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He came to the other weddings. Okay?
What?
It was like my brother. This man, he was like my brother.
He been out hustling you for a minute, Mo.
You know, he wasn't. That's why it's so beautiful, because we were like, we had a place together. He would see my boyfriend I see his girlfriend, you know, then
You
he
didn't
might.
feel some type of way?
This was my brother. This was literally my brother. And then if it wasn't my boyfriend, it might be another little fella.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was like my brother. We were
Right.
brother and sister.
Right.
So the way it happened,
Yes.
it was so pure.
Tell me, that's what I want to know now. He came to you, say, came to weddings, you saw him have girlfriends. I don't know if he was married or not before
Nope,
you.
never been married.
How? How did it? I got to know this. Because Hallmark need to do a story
Baby girl,
on this.
we got time. We got time. We good on time. I want you to say that again, and I don't want Hallmark, but okay, because this story is spicy, and I don't know if Hallmark can handle the spice of the story. So,
If you're a business owner,
Oh, that's what I see. Yeah, they had an open relationship, right? Is that what it's about?
we've always been like brother and sister,
Mhm.
right? He was the one I would call after a show when I was staying at a motel. And I'd be like, yo, they got me in this motel and niggas outside and everything. I'm scared. He'd be like, but one day you're going to be on the inside. This is the same guy that we was going to the, like our little farmer's market in Baltimore. And I had a comedy club called Monique's
Right.
in Baltimore. And the girl had on a Monique's t-shirt. And he says, one day they know you're only in Baltimore, but one day they're going to know you all around the world. That's the same guy that when we step off of a plane in London together, and the guy says, my wife knows I fancy you. And we went back to that moment coming out of that store in Baltimore where one day they'll know you all over the world. So he always made life right for me. But it was my brother, right? And I remember one night when I thought Joel Levert was my boyfriend. And let me be clear. I thought he was my boyfriend. I was never his girlfriend, right?
Right.
But in my mind, you
Right.
know, we'll take it somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm in my feelings,
Yeah.
because I like this little teddy bear,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the teddy bear didn't like,
It wasn't reciprocated.
okay, all right, not the way I wanted it to be,
Correct.
right? So I call up my best friend. And I'm saying I'm mad. He said, all right. He said, listen, it's all good. When you come home, you know, let's just hang out, right?
Mhm.
When I went home, I was doing the BET Awards.
Right.
And I had a big party at my house.
Yeah.
And the next day I was supposed to go to Essence for the Essence Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So that night at the house, the outside is packed. Ain't nobody throw a Hollywood party, Shannon Sharp, like Monique threw a Hollywood.
You thought of
I had every race, every nationality, everything you thought could be at a party, and everybody was just
having a great time.
a great time, right? So he's at the party, and he's very
Was Diddy there? Cat Williams pops out. He went in the closet.
reserved,
Mhm.
you know, very reserved cat. So I grab his hand and say, come on, let's go dancing. And we go out on the dance floor and have a great time. After that, I'm like, all right, I got to start packing and get ready to go to the Essence Festival. So we go upstairs and I take my shower. Well, it's nothing for him to see me naked because we were roommates,
Right.
you know, so
Yeah.
nothing. So he says, when you come back from Essence, I want to talk with you. So I said, okay. So he went to kiss me on my cheek, but the kiss was half lip. It was like here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
See it, sleep with it.
You see it?
Sleep with it. Say,
It was right there. It was right there, right? Now, I tried to
Look at Shannon.
turn the whole mouth, but it came right there.
Right, okay,
Right? Because
okay.
I felt something different.
Yeah,
I felt
okay.
it. And I was like, and then after it happened, we both almost had a feeling of like,
What just?
we did something wrong. Like this, like that's my. So we didn't address it.
Right.
I came back from Essence Festival.
What you want to talk about?
I went to his place.
Okay.
He fixed dinner.
Oh, okay.
He fixed dinner and read this amazing poem that he wrote. That was almost 19 years ago.
Uh-oh.
We've never been apart since then.
Wow.
We've never been apart since then. And I am more in love with that man today than I was when we first got married because I didn't really know what I was getting I knew I was getting somebody I could trust because I just needed somebody
you
that
need.
I could just
Right.
try. Like my brother stole from me. I just needed somebody that I could just trust, and I didn't want to keep on having randoms.
Right.
Because that gets old
Yeah,
after a while.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
yes,
you're
I
just
do.
trying to fill the void.
Right.
And men go through that as well as women. You
Yeah.
just get tired of
Yeah.
So I knew I could trust him. But I didn't know he was the king that he was, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I would be raised. And there are women that have a problem with me saying that. And I will not back down from it. I did not know that that man would take me from a 15-year-old mentality. Even though I'm a star, I'm famous, I got a few dollars in my bank account, but still had that little girl mentality. You can't correct me. You can't say nothing to me. You can't check me. You can't do none of that. Still had that way. That man was able to shut all of that down and grow me up. So I got a great one. I won't even say a good one. I got a great
You
one.
got a great one.
Yeah.
You got a lover, a best friend,
Yes.
a manager, a husband,
Yes.
a confidant,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
a protector.
Yeah. You're saying it, and it seems like people have a hard time getting it, but that's exactly who Sidney Hicks is. He's all of those things.
When the Queens of Comedy, was that because I was Samora, Adele Givens, Miss Laura? Tell me about the Queens of Comedy. We hear about the Kings of Comedy all the time, and it was great.
Yeah.
You.
I was not an original queen of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came on, right, I was so honored to be in the presence of three of the greatest female comedians to ever do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you hands down, them sisters are incredible because they've paved ways for people. And when we got together, Shannon.
Who was the original Queens of Comedy? Let me see.
It was non-stop history making because we were selling out in ways that were unheard of, right? And I can remember our first show because I was not initially the headliner of the Queens of Comedy. Some more was.
Right.
And I remember our first show, and this is why I appreciate her because she knows a great show. Like you have some comedians that feel like, you can't follow me. I tore the stage down and it's over and you can't. And I felt that way one time in my life, and that was with D.L. Hughley, right? But you have, she was the headliner of the show. And we were in Atlanta. And it was one of those shows where the basket for me was this big. Like, I don't care what I said, it was just, right? Samore is one of the funniest.
Yeah.
It's just our energies are different. I'm liable to run across the stage. Just the energy is different. And that night, the energy was just different. It was not that she was less funny. Just the energy was different. And this is why I love that sister. She walked off the stage that night after she closed the show. She walked by me and she said, you headline from now on. And she kept walking. We never discussed it. We never discussed it. It takes, for me, it takes a person saying, we want a great show.
Right.
We just want a great show.
Correct.
And that's what that was. Miss Laura taught me how to warm up food on a damn iron with a towel. She said, bitch, I've been to prison. We don't have no microwave and we're going to eat these buffalo wings. Flip that iron over and wrap that Reynolds wrap up and cover it with that towel. Baby, them buffalo wings were so damn good. But did we get treated fairly? Hell to the no. No, we did not. There were times on that Queens of Comedy tour that I had to, even on that tour, I had to say some things because it wasn't fair. And the way we were being treated, it was not fair. There were times when money wasn't right. And I remember the first date for the Queens of Comedy. And I got a call from my agent. And she says to me, no more C&D promoters. You're in the big leagues now. Walter Latham, wants you to be a part of the Queens of Comedy. Okay. No,
No
thank
problem.
you. No
Yeah.
problem.
Because he's the executive producer of the Kings of Comedy, correct?
Right. This gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
The first check I got.
1,500.
Let me sip before I tell you.
Hell, I might better take me a sip too.
My banker called me up and said, Monique, this check is no good. I said, excuse me?
The money jump funny?
God damn.
Sip again.
The first check? How you get the first
I might
check?
need a little something strong. Hold on.
Damn it, Shannon.
That's the thing, man. Janky promoters. Go watch that movie. Ice Cube and Day Day, I believe. Mike Epps. But the janky promoters everywhere, man.
The money's no good. I said, what you say? She said, Monique, this check is no good. So I immediately got on the phone with my agent. And I said, let me tell you something about C&D promoters. My money always good. Now I need you to get Walter Lathan on the phone. Walter Lathan, from here on out, I will only accept cash from you moving forward. You have 2 hours to get the money into my account. If not, take me off of the Queens of Comedy tour.
You make it right?
He made it right. You saw me on the tour, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then one night, this is why people could say that's a problem. If I tell you I'm going to pay you $50,000.25, what are you expecting?
50,025 cents.
Right.
So one night they tried to give me what was not all of it. I need all of it. I don't care if it's a little bit. It's mine.
Right.
And until you get it, my throat hurts. So they had to go. I get sick on them, Shannon.
Oh,
Straight up. I need all the money. All the money.
Out of the weather.
Well, I performed that night because they had to go get my money.
Right.
Then they started selling shows off. So what that means is now you got different promoters coming in. We're women. We are women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Samore had an assistant and I had an assistant. And both of our assistants were not the kind of men that was going to fight.
Right.
Okay? They might scratch you.
Right.
But they weren't going to ball their fists up and do no guffing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we're in a position now where we're trying to defend ourselves because now you walking up, I'm a promoter. Take pictures with my family. And we had no idea this was happening.
Right.
One night, we were on the Kings and Queens, right? And oh, how Bernie Mac is missed. Oh, how he's missed because he was a real one, right?
Okay.
All the Kings of Comedy had limos, separate. Steve had one, Bernie had one, Cedric had one, DL had one, all of them. Then another limousine pull up and they say, this is for the Queens of Comedy. I said, I will not. I will not.
Damn.
You better pull up 4 separate limousines.
That's crazy. That's really what it's like. You can tell that shit's real.
You're going to treat us the same way you treated them. We helped sell out 44,000 people. That wasn't just the kings. It was the kings and the queens. So you will treat us accordingly.
Right.
All the kings got Rolex watches when it was over.
What y'all get?
I'm still waiting for mine. That's the treatment.
Yeah.
So when people say, why won't y'all do the queens again? It was a moment in time. And it was a beautiful moment in time. And some things should be left where they were.
Wow. This is what I want to get to.
I want you to get to it.
A lot of this happened with the movie Precious. That's the movie that made Monique a star among stars. She shined the brightest because you played that role. Nobody else could have did that role justice, Mo.
Thank you, baby.
Nobody. You played it, and I remember walking out the movie, and I called my sister. I said, she's going to win the Academy Award for that role. I said, it's almost like she was born to play that role. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Okay, you shoot a movie.
Yes.
The movie wrap. You might have to come back and do some voiceover, some touch-up work here or there.
Yes.
That's already scripted into the contract. Now, the promotion aspect of the contract. What were you contracted to do? Because that seems to be where the the conflict seems to come in.
Yes.
Because you like, okay, what? So tell the people that's going to watch this and listen to this, what was Monique contractually obligated to do as far as the promotional aspect of Precious?
I was contractually obligated to promote the movie Precious under Lee Daniels Productions.
Okay.
I promoted Precious under Lee Daniels Productions. I did Oprah, I did magazines, I did TV shows, I did all of the promotions I was contractually obligated to do.
Okay.
That was it.
That was it.
I'm done with it.
Done.
Okay?
Done.
Now Precious is going to Cannes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I have the Monique Show.
Mm-hmm.
I am on the Spread the Love tour. I have toddler babies. And I'm also a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The Monique Show is like down for maybe a couple days, a week or so.
Right.
I got some days off on the tour. I'm going to relax with my family.
Right.
Because once they sold the movie,
Right.
you didn't sell me,
Right.
Whoopi Goldberg. See, Whoopi Goldberg said I could have schooled you and told you what was expected when I didn't promote and go overseas. And you know how you just looked up and looked away?
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg, what you were saying to me, I could have schooled you and told you, you go in that house and let them have their way with you.
Right.
And I'll be here when you come back.
Mm-hmm.
So after I'm done with my promotions, Lionsgate reaches out to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, they think they're talking to my attorney, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, we want Monique to come to Cannes. She promoted so well in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
we want her to go international and promote the movie and do Cannes.
Okay.
I told my husband, please let them know I respectfully decline. I appreciate it, but I respectfully decline. I'm going to spend some time at home.
Right.
Lionsgate calls back. We really would like for Monique to come to Cannes,
Mm-hmm.
promote this movie. Please let them know I respectfully decline. I'm going to spend time with my family. Lionsgate calls back and says, what is it going to take for us to get Monique to come to Cannes? We'll give her another week in France. We'll upgrade her room. My husband said, is there a dollar amount attached to what you're asking for?
Right.
Oh, we will never pay anyone to promote a film. Never. He said, we understand. And we're never going to work for free. You're asking her to do something that she's not obligated to do.
Correct.
Well, what is this the attorney? He said, actually, I'm her manager and her husband. Now we can put it on the husband's being difficult.
Right.
Right? Okay. So I don't owe anybody anything. That's why I was never sued. Now we go to the Hoodie Awards. Tyler Perry is there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Perry calls me in his room. Now, when I go into Tyler Perry's room, his staff is in there. Now, you ready to holler laughing?
Yes.
Okay, I take my security in there with me because I always want to have somebody with me.
Right.
Right? Tyler Perry does this. And the people scattered. They all left out the room. I said, look at this shit right here. You saw me. And they all scattered.
That wasn't the lights. That's for the people. You don't like lights on?
Lights off because they got their asses up out of there.
Okay.
So at the time, my security looked at me. I said, you don't work for Tyler Perry. You could.
Touche.
So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, Monique, we really need you to, promote this film because if you get nominated for the Oscar, your next movie is going to be $3 to $5 million. If you win it, your next movie is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler Perry, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. When they gonna pay that kind of money? No, I'm telling you, that's what it is. And if you just go and promote it, I said, listen, brother, you can pay me to promote it. Because at the time, now him and Oprah are producers on the film.
Right.
I said, you can pay me to do it. I don't care where the check come from, but y'all just gotta pay me to do it. He said, I'm not in the habit of giving out money for free. I said, and I'm not in the habit of working for free.
Yeah,
but you
man.
gave T.D. Jakes a check for $1 million, but that's another story, and I'm back. Mm-hmm. So when he then says that, it's like, listen, we both mutually agree. You don't give out free money, I don't work for free.
Service.
We hugged, Shannon. When we were done talking, we hugged. Do you hear me?
Yes.
We hugged like brother and sister, like it's cool, he understands.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey calls my husband. I want y'all to Take your time, because I'm getting ready to go on.
Yeah, that's your camera right
Yeah,
there.
because the people at home, they sitting there like, Monique, what happened? Bitch, I'm getting ready to tell you. She calls my husband.
Okay.
My husband explains to her what's going on. She says, there have been times I've had to draw the line in the sand. So my husband said, well, what is different between you and Monique? You've got to draw the line, and you're saying when you know they're asking you for too much. She said, you're absolutely right, and I understand your position.
Right.
You're right in the position you're taking. So when you're looking at me saying, well, what happened? I'm telling you what happened.
But, okay, she's saying that privately, but did she voice that publicly?
Did you hear her say it?
I did.
Did you hear her say it? JT, did you hear her say it?
No.
Zach, did you hear her say it, Zach? Regina, did you hear her? Tommy? No one seemed to hear that publicly. She said that privately. Now, when she said that, see, everything we're saying to you, it can be proven. She had him on speakerphone. And that when she was talking to him, in that room was a man named Reggie Wells, who just passed, who used to be Oprah Winfrey's makeup artist, who he had a conversation with me and my husband. Now, for you babies that's good with the little internet, we had a show on called Monique and Sydney Finding a Way to Be Unoffended. Finding a Way to Be Unoffended. Reggie Wells is on that show speaking about Oprah Winfrey. Reggie Wells said, Monique, I was there that day. He said, and when y'all got off the phone, I looked at her and said, why don't you just pay this woman the money? She deserves it. And she looked at him and said, I won't be paying her nothing. And he said, that's not right. And you know it's not right. Now, that man shared that on that show. So I'm not saying nothing that hasn't been shared. So you have people that will say things in private, but won't do it publicly. I'm the person that I will say it in private, and I'm going to say it publicly, because that's the only way we make it right.
But you don't need somebody to talk good to your face. You need somebody to talk good behind your back. So if you telling me what a great person I am in my face, but you telling me I'm dog poop behind my back, what good is that, Mo?
What does that make those kind of people, Shannon?
What
does it make those kind of people?
Cowardly.
That is cowardly. See, here's what's this: when we have our juggernauts, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, these are our juggernauts of our community. These are the people that our babies say, when I grow up, I want to be that.
Yes.
I want to be like that. So we have to call those people to the mat and say, listen, what are you teaching our babies? You're feeding poison because you're showing them your private jet. I'm going to show you my mansion. I'm going to show you my fancy cars, but my character is shot and I'm bankrupt. I got a lot of money in my bank. It's more zeros than some of them than we can imagine. But their character, they are bankrupt. Those are bankrupt people. So everybody that Kat sat right here and told you about, I can't wait to see your next interviews with those people.
They ain't coming on now, Mo.
Invite them.
I have.
They're not going to do it.
Well, look, I've already done Steve. I have a relationship with Steve.
Do him again. Do him again. And I'm going to say this.
I'm trying to get Oprah and Tyler, though.
Baby, we got him. Y'all, come on. Stop playing.
They ain't coming on, Mo, thanks to you.
You know how. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to say it because I appreciate you as a black man and what you're doing.
Thank you.
If you are my friend, and someone says to me, Monique, Shannon Sharp wronged me, and you my friend,
Yeah.
I'm going to call my friend.
You can come to me.
And I'm going to say, hey, is what they saying true? And if you get to hemming and hawing, I'm going to tell you, till you fix it, you and I can't talk. Because if you'll do them that way, it'll be a matter of time before you do it to me. So if Steve Harvey is your friend, you call your friend up and you ask him, is what our sister saying right, man? Because if it is, we can't do that to her. If that's our sister. See, it took a transgender named T.S. Madison. It was a guy named Jamaica Carter. Jamaica Carter and our mutual friend. Jamaica Carter and our friends. T.S. Madison was a mutual friend. So Jamaica called me and said, would you mind doing T.S. Madison's show? I go do T.S. Madison's show. When I tell T.S. Madison, when the camera cuts, I said, listen, your friend is wrong. She said, Monique Lee Daniels is my friend. I said, then you need to call your friend and tell him to fix this shit. She said, I will. Within a couple of days, who did I get a call from? Lee Daniels. See, that's a friend.
Mhm.
That's a true friend that's saying, I love you so much that I want to make sure that's not on your heart or your conscience. Let's fix it. Let's make it right. So when people ask Lee now, when we did the deliverance together, how was it to work with Monique? It was as if we had never parted ways because he fixed it. He owned it and he took accountability for it. I can't now keep you to the cross because you've owned it.
Right.
I've had to be forgiven.
Right.
So I appreciate that someone had grace and mercy with me. So I'm going to have that with other people when they take accountability for what they've done.
How much did you make for the role, Mary and Precious?
I was paid $50,000.
That's it.
That's it. And
That's crazy. Man, that is interesting. I don't like to work for people for free. I don't think you do either. So I kind of understand what she's saying. Like, and think about it. This is not just a little bit of money too. This is millions of dollars. So. She is one of the pioneers to to some of the people that owe her money. She's been in this thing for a long time, so it's kind of crazy that Monique is going through this, but this is what happens too. That there's got to be a villain in Hollywood, and so they'll paint the one that doesn't go with the flow, right, or goes outside the lines, as the villain. So that's really what it is. Let me know in the comments what you think, man. This was part 2. We're gonna get to the finished part 3 tomorrow, and we're gonna keep it rocking, man. Hip Hop Heist. Keep doing your thing. I'm lit right now. It's lit.